Hey everyone, welcome back to News Science, where we discuss comics, movies, games, and more. And this is another Spider-Man photo mode submission, but this one is going to be an entirely different Spider-Man photo submission. A little earlier this week, I asked you all to rate my photos because for quite some time, I've been reviewing a lot of your photos, but this time I kind of want to switch it up and I want to see what you all have to say about my skills when it comes to photo mode submission. Now, I'm not going to lie, I'm going to say that most of you, at least almost all of you, are much better than me when it comes to photo mode. I always try my best to take the best shots in Marvel Spider-Man when I do photo mode. But anyways, my name is Ronnie, and today I'm going to go over some of the comments that you have left on my channel when it comes to my photo mode submissions. And this is going to be quite fun. I'm going to try to read like a lot of comments. I'm not going to go through all of them because I'm actually reading a mix from like Discord and even YouTube, and of course Instagram, once I can log back into my Instagram, and I'll get to those in a second if I have any. I think I only had like about 5 of those. So anyways, these are the photos that I submitted right here that you're looking at, and I'm just gonna go ahead and read over some of my favorite comments there. But before I get started with the first one, I want to go ahead and give credit to the person who submitted this idea. This one comes from Sickly Debt. He says that he forgot that this was his idea and that I told him that I was going to go with that and it was a good idea. So thank you so much, Sickly Debt, for recommending this idea. So let's go ahead with the very first comment that I found on Discord. So this one comes from Fonzo. He says, my favorite one has to be the third one. I like how his leg blocks the light to his eye. And he's of course referring to this image over here. So I have my YouTube community pulled up here over on OBS where I'm recording this, and he's referring to this one. He's talking about how like the leg in the foreground kind of blocks the front. I was actually kind of going for that, where like the foreground, like his leg and his arm is kind of like obscured and blurred out, where you can see like partial of his face. It kind of looks cool. That's what I was going for. And of course, the Roxxon building in the background was done on purpose as well, because it kind of foreshadows the future of the game, where it leads into the sequel, which is Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales. So I thought it was pretty cool. But thank you so much once again, Fonzo, for leaving that comment. That was very nice of you. Let's go over to the next comment here from my Discord. Now, this one comes from Crispy Bread. Yeah, I agree. They're all great, but the first one is so well done. And he's, of course, referring to the very first one. It seems like that caught everybody's attention. I kind of had this feeling because, you know, if I didn't post this as the very first image, I don't think anybody would actually notice. But this one I was going for a very somber, melancholy, Spider-Man 3-esque kind of look. And it's one of my favorites that I've taken out of the 5 that I submitted to you guys for you to judge. So thank you so much for the very nice comment there. Now the next one. This one comes from Dragon Sailor, and he had quite a bit to say here. He says the first one with the black and white filter makes it feel like Spider-Man has lost everything. This also makes it feel like the photo you would see with opening Spider-Man 2 for the very first time. It also makes it look like Peter obtained the black suit, and the only thing you can see is the black and negative. Yep, pretty much I was going for that. Kind of like how I mentioned how I was going for like a very melancholy, somber, like lost kind of look. And it's perfect. I mean, the trick was all I did was go into the game, looked downwards, you know, with Spider-Man as he was standing still, paused it and just snapped the photo and just applied the black and white filter to it. So I'm glad that it came out the way it did. Thank you so much, Dragon Sailor. The next one here comes from Word Dazel. My favorite one has to be picture 5, mainly because of how it has a comic booky pose. Now I would have to say that the first one, but my only gripe with that one is that the fact that his head does look really weird. I kind of disagree with the whole head thing looking weird. I think his head looks normal. If in this universe Spider-Man wears like a face shell mask, I mean, I guess it looks weird, but I don't think it does whatsoever. I think it looks like a normal head size. But he's referring to the 5th photo. He said that it was his favorite one because it's kind of comic booky. I like this shot too. I mean, I purposely took this one to make, you know, the shadows show up on this suit in particular, because Scarlet Spider is very brutal. He's really well known to be like that, and there's a lot of comic books where he's drawn that way, where there's a lot of shadow on him, and it looks really neat. So I like this one personally. I think it's one of my favorites out of the 5 here. But anyways, let's go over and head over to my YouTube channel, where in the community section you guys left your comments. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom in here a little bit. Now, I'm not going to go over every single one of them, but I do want to read a couple of them. And this one, we're going to go with a go. So the first one is just Chef's Kiss, and he's of course referring to the black and white one, which everyone seems to like. I really like the fourth picture as well. It wouldn't look so wonky though if Insomniac had modeled and animated the web line to actually connect from the wrist and not randomly appear from between his middle and ring fingers. And I like the angles on number 2 and 5, especially the lighting and the shadow on number 5. Overall, these are some great submissions. Thank you so much, Ago. He's referring to this one. Yes, that's actually one of my few minor gripes with the game, and this seems to be very apparent with every single spider suit you wear. Whenever you're in the middle of shooting a web line and you pause and you want to do a photo, there seems to be a problem. It's not accurately captured with him shooting the webs, and you don't really see the webs actually coming out of the web cartridges. It does look a little wonky. The web lines don't look like actual webs. To me, it kind of looks like a shiny piece of plastic coming out of him, and it's not angled correctly. Like, there's like this phasing problem where objects just phase between one another, and it just goes through his fingers. It doesn't even look like it's a part of him. It just looks like a glitch, but that's just me. But anyways, let's go over to another comment. Chris Robertson says, honestly, got to go with number 3. I like the bright colors and the stylized look of it, like it was emulating a frame in a comic book. So he's referring to number 3. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. This one, yeah. So again, I mean, I'm glad that this photo turned out to be the way it did. There is some brightness to it, and it does look like it came out of a comic book. So I can definitely agree with that, Chris Robertson. Thank you so much. June says, I honestly really like the second one. The way the shadow looks, the shiny red is amazing, especially the eyes glowing. Just imagine it in the rain. Oh yeah, the second one looks nice. Yeah, and it would look sick in the rain. This was taken during the day in the game, so I kind of made it look like a mystery, you know, because it looks really cool, and the lenses and the emblem on the chest really do glow at any point in the day or in the nighttime if you want to use the suit. And it's actually one of my favorite suits in the game. I really love the Mark IV suit. The first one is gorgeous, looks very cinematic. Thank you, R520JR. The first one, people tend to like this one because they just love the dark stuff and dark gritty. So I've already said what I had to say about this one, and I also captured like the weather. I wanted the rain to be there. Again, going for a very Spider-Man 3-esque kind of poster, like as if he got the black suit already. So definitely one of my favorite shots as well. I totally agree with that comment. I really like the shadowy effect in the first one. Again, I am not important. That's you guys have really funny names on your YouTube channels and, you know, YouTube accounts. Raj Panya says the first one and even the fourth one are the best. In the fourth one, it gives the vibes of Spider-Man Far From Home ending scene where Mysterio revealed Spider-Man's identity. And the first one gives vibes of Spider-Man 3, Sam Raimi. Again, yes, I was going for that as well. And the fourth one, not a lot of people talked about it. Only just one comment that I mentioned. Yes, it kind of is reminiscent. I am actually, you know, standing on a street post, on a lamp post, and about to shoot out some webs, about to, like, you know, zip line into like a corner of a building somewhere. But yeah, it's very reminiscent of that one scene at the end of Far From Home. I really like this one as well. So thank you so much for mentioning that little detail. Brian Pena says the first one looks like Peter is embracing the dark side of the symbiote and is conflicted between dark and light. I wholeheartedly agree with that sentiment as well, as do a lot of other people as well. Thank you so much for mentioning that, Brian Pena. And Stello McConta says, I mean, like, yeah, man, that's pretty good. Very vague, but I would go ahead and assume that you're talking about all the pictures. So thank you for making that comment. I got to go with first one and fourth one. All right, little XD, thank you so much. Pacifics says, I am personally not a big fan of the Ben Riley suit, but that last photo literally made me fall in love with it. The shadow makes it so menacing combined with the wall idle pose that this just proves that any bad suit from personal preference in the game can look good. You just need that imagination. I definitely agree with that as well. Thank you so much, Pacifics. The Ben Riley suit, the Scarlet Spider, is actually one of my favorite Spider-Man suits. And that was the idea. If I had to put it into words, you perfectly summed it up. That was the idea, to make it look menacing, to apply as much shadow as possible. So thank you for bringing that up as well. Let's see. The first photo is fire. Thank you, Vicious. Long have I waited. That's all you had to say, Ruja Patel? Long have I waited? I mean, I wish you would have commented on my photos, but I think if I had to assume why you said long have I waited, you're probably referring to why I haven't made a Spider-Man photo mode submission in quite a bit. But yeah, I mean, the wait's not over, like no longer over. I mean, the wait's over already. I mean, I submitted one recently yesterday at the time of me making this video. But anyways, yeah, I mean, let's go over to my Instagram real quick, and we can go to my profile, and we'll go here where I submitted the photos. I only got a few comments on this one, but Braden Johnson says they all look good, but the first one is just giving me some Sam Raimi vibes. Again, everybody seems to be, you know, in agreement when it comes to that. I mean, everybody thinks that this is very Sam Raimi inspired, and they're not wrong. Rah straight tacking said first and second. Alexis Pierre, well done, Ronnie. Congrats, you reached your goals. Now you all gotta do is keep reaching, and we are here with you. Fire, hands clapping, fire. Well, he was congratulating me on my 10,000 subscribers and everything like that. So, but I guess he likes the photos as well. Also, Unofficial Spidey, who also made it into one of my photo mode submissions. These look amazing. I'd rate them like an 8.5 out of 10. Just think you should incorporate some different colored lights in lighting mode, like a really light yellow, just to sharpen it up. Other than that, they look awesome. You know what? I totally agree with that. I even replied to that comment saying thank you. But yeah, I agree with that. I can definitely understand where you're coming from, and I will definitely take that criticism into consideration. Thank you so much for the rating. And that's pretty much all I got for today. You guys had said some really nice things about my photos. I appreciate it. Let me know if you want to see a video like this again in the future. And you just comment down below with your thoughts. And with all that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and click on the bell notifications so you all don't miss anything. And as always, I will see you all in the next comic panel.